November 1939, Thames Estuary mudflats near Shoeburyness, Essex. Two parachutes descending through darkness carried weapons that German captains couldn't see, couldn't hear, and couldn't predict. The devices waiting in shallow water required no contact with a hull, no tripwire, no visible trigger. These revolutionary instruments sensed something that every steel vessel possessed but had no way of concealing: their magnetic field. British scientists had engineered a deadly innovation that forced ships to reveal themselves merely through their existence. Throughout the following 5 years, these elegant magnetic detection systems would send over 1,500 Axis vessels to the ocean floor while compelling Germany to redirect 60% of its naval forces toward defensive operations. This hidden menace evolved into the war's most economically devastating naval armament. Every vessel constructed from steel creates distortions in Earth's natural magnetic field. When a ferromagnetic hull cuts through this field, it compresses and bends the invisible lines of force encircling it, producing a measurable disturbance that accompanies the vessel like an inescapable companion. This physical principle offered no escape routes. No countermeasures could fully eliminate it. Engineers working at HMS Vernon, the Royal Navy's specialized facility for torpedo and mine development in Portsmouth, weaponized this fundamental law of physics with devastating consequences. Britain confronted an urgent crisis during the autumn months of 1939. The very day war commenced, September 3rd, 3 German submarines designated U-13, U-14, and U-17 commenced dropping magnetic mines along Britain's eastern coastline. In merely 7 days, these weapons destroyed 4 commercial vessels representing 14,575 gross registered tons. By the time November arrived, German mining operations were annihilating 27 ships, each month amounting to 121,000 tons of shipping. Britain's vital maritime supply lines faced complete disruption. The German magnetic mine technology employed a dip needle mechanism, fundamentally a precision-balanced compass needle that completed a detonation circuit when deflected by a passing ship's magnetic disturbance. Though straightforward in design, this approach proved brutally efficient. Each successful attack demonstrated how traditional contact mines requiring direct hull impact had become relics of the past. These influence mines exploding simply from a vessel's proximity embodied the new era of naval obstruction warfare. Everything transformed following a critical intelligence windfall. During the dark hours between November 22nd and 23rd of 1939, a German H-59C aircraft, attempting to evade anti-aircraft fire, prematurely released 2 mines into the Thames Estuary tidal flats. A British soldier observed the parachutes floating downward through the night sky. Most crucially, the Luftwaffe aircrew had neglected to arm the anti-tampering safety mechanism, a 7-second delay system activated by a copper component mounted on aluminum hardware. Lieutenant Commander John Garnold Hayes's UV commanded the retrieval operation. UV had pioneered Britain's own non-contact mine development and served as the mine neutralization specialist at HMS Vernon. Equipped with specially manufactured non-magnetic brass instruments, he successfully disabled the explosive device on the exposed mudflats while his team maintained a protective distance. The intact mine was then transported to HMS Vernon for comprehensive examination within a single day. Physicist Dr. Albert B. Wood, alongside his technical assistants, had completely disassembled the magnetic detonation mechanism. This captured weapon exposed not only German engineering approaches but more significantly revealed exploitable weaknesses in their design. Commander Charles Frederick Goodhue, a chemist of Canadian-British heritage who had joined HMS Vernon in 1939, formulated 2 essential defensive measures in under 6 weeks. He coined the term degaussing, derived from the Gauss unit measuring magnetic field intensity, and established systematic protocols for diminishing ships' magnetic profiles. Additionally, he engineered the double L magnetic sweep technology, permitting aircraft and surface vessels to safely detonate mines ahead of advancing convoys. However, Britain's ambitions extended beyond mere defense against magnetic mines. Their objective was deploying technically superior variants, the British coiled rod induction. Trigger embodied a profound technological leap beyond Germany's dip needle system. Instead of utilizing a compass needle that oriented toward magnetic anomalies, British mines measured the velocity of change in the horizontal magnetic field component. This innovation meant detonation occurred precisely when a vessel passed directly above, at the moment of maximum magnetic field disruption, rather than activating prematurely from distant ships. This technical sophistication created a weapon substantially more resistant to sweeping operations and far more dependable in actual deployment. Britain's principal aerial magnetic mine, designated the Mark V, commenced production in August 1940. Total mass reached 1,080 pounds. The explosive payload contained 700 pounds of metal blended with approximately 20% aluminum powder. Deployment utilized parachute delivery from 1,000-pound bomb mounting systems fitted to conventional bomber aircraft. The magnetic triggering mechanism could be integrated with acoustic detection sensors for enhanced complexity. By March 1944, the Mark VI variant arrived featuring an augmented warhead. Weight increased to roughly 1,500 pounds. The explosive charge expanded to between 1,000 and 1,100 pounds of amatol or mineral. The combination of acoustic and magnetic triggering systems made neutralization operations far more challenging. This mine could be deployed without parachutes from motor torpedo boats, broadening tactical deployment options. Ship-laid seabed mines carried even more substantial charges. The M3 variant held between 1,500 and 1,750 pounds of mineral, functioning effectively at depths ranging from 6 to 20 fathoms. Acoustic sensing capabilities were incorporated in 1943. These weapons transformed shallow coastal regions into lethal zones for enemy shipping. The explosive composition warrants examination. British mines utilized mineral, which generated superior blast effects despite being regarded as lower grade compared to pure TNT or RDX. This material selection reflected wartime resource constraints. Britain economized scarce explosive materials while still achieving fatal effectiveness. German mines achieved explosive-to-weight ratios of 60 to 70%. British mines ranged from 57 to 73% depending on specific design. This difference represented optimization rather than inferiority. If you're appreciating this detailed exploration of British military engineering, subscribing really helps more than you might realize. Operational deployment of magnetic mines commenced on the night of April 13th to 14th, 1940. 15 Handley Page Hampton bombers from RAF Bomber Command released 14 Mark I magnetic mines off Denmark's coastline and the Elbe River approaches, Kiel Bay and Baltic entry points. This operation received the codename Gardening, with individual target zones named after plants and vegetables. One aircraft was lost during this inaugural mission. Over the subsequent 5 years, the accumulated statistics demonstrated precisely why magnetic mining became the most cost-effective aerial weapon in the entire conflict. RF Bomber Command deployed between 47,278 and 48,158 mines. Coastal Command contributed an additional 936. Total mining sorties reached 19,917. Aircraft casualties totaled between 450 and 468, representing approximately a 2.3% loss rate. Against these operational costs, the outcomes were remarkable. 545 merchant vessels sank, representing 591,143 gross registered tons. 217 warships went down, totaling 147,264 tons displacement. Combined, 762 vessels were destroyed, representing 738,470 tons. An additional 540 vessels sustained damage requiring repairs. The efficiency comparison between magnetic mining and direct air attacks revealed mining's clear superiority. During the initial 20 months of operations, British aerial mines sank or severely damaged 164 Axis ships while losing 94 aircraft. During this identical time frame, direct bombing raids on shipping destroyed merely 105 vessels while suffering between 300 and 733 aircraft losses, representing a six-fold difference in effectiveness per aircraft casualty. Specific documented German losses included catastrophic warship destructions. February 22, 1940, proved calamitous for the Kriegsmarine. The Type 1934 destroyer designated Z3 Max Schultz struck a British mine in the North Sea near Dogger Bank, plunging beneath the waves with the complete loss of all 308 crew members. This stands as one of the most devastating single-ship casualty incidents throughout the entire naval war. That same day, destroyer Z1 Lebrecht Maas, already damaged from friendly fire, drifted into a British minefield and sank, killing 280 of approximately 340 crew. Within 24 hours, British mines claimed 588 German sailors. German U-boats also became victims of British minefields. U-12 struck a mine in the Dover Strait. On October 8, 1939, U-40 followed on October 13. The Dover Barrage and coastal defensive fields claimed numerous submarines throughout the war, including U-325, U-400, and U-1021 off Cornwall. Between 1944 and 1945, Germany's response revealed this weapon's genuine strategic impact. By 1943, mine countermeasure operations constituted nearly 60% of all German naval activity. This staggering commitment drained personnel, vessels, and industrial capacity away from offensive operations. Germany deployed 679 dedicated minesweeping vessels, including 218 MJ-type standard minesweepers, 424 round-boot auxiliary minesweepers, and 37 surviving World War I-era vessels. At the primary base of Cuxhaven alone, 10 flotillas of 8 to 12 boats each maintained continuous sweeping operations. The most dramatic countermeasure initiative was the Spurbreaker or Barrier Breaker program. Over 100 merchant ships, typically ranging from 3,000 to 8,000 gross registered tons, were converted into mine detonation vessels. These ships were filled with buoyant materials and fitted with reinforced bows, shock-mounted equipment, and the wicking electromagnetic system featuring massive electromagnetic coils projecting a magnetic field up to 460 meters ahead. These Pathfinder vessels were engineered to trigger mines at safe distances. Approximately 50% of all Spurbreaker were lost during combat operations, testament to both the extreme danger of their mission and the effectiveness of British mine engineering. Germany also pioneered aerial minesweeping using Junkers Ru 52/3 MS aircraft fitted with 46-foot diameter aluminum coils. 6 mine search squadrons flew at speeds between 125 and 135 miles per hour, maintaining altitudes of just 10 to 20 meters above the water surface, attempting to detonate mines ahead of naval convoys. Aircraft operating near continuous underwater explosions suffered predictable casualty rates. A German minesweeper commander later acknowledged the brilliant innovations within British mine design and the relentless pressure of constantly finding more vessels, personnel, weapons, and shipyard facilities for converting craft into minesweepers. He asserted traffic was rarely interrupted and never for longer than 12 to 24 hours, yet this claim contradicted documented 5 to 10-day port closures during intensive sweeping operations. Comparative analysis illuminates why British magnetic detonators earned their fearsome reputation. The German LMB mine weighed 2,116 pounds with an explosive charge of 1,554 pounds, approximately a 70% charge to weight ratio. Length reached 8 feet 8 inches. Diameter measured 25 inches. The dip needle magnetic trigger, later combined with acoustic sensors, achieved sensitivity of 15 milligauss initially, improved to 4 milligauss by 1942, American. Magnetic mines prioritize payload over sophistication. The Mark 25 primary weapon for Operation Starvation against Japan weighed between 1,950 and 2,000 pounds. The explosive charge contained 1,274 pounds of torpex significantly heavier than British equivalents. American mines carried roughly double the explosive payload of comparable British designs, reflecting different industrial limitations. Britain optimized for reliability and production efficiency. America emphasized destructive power using high-quality torpedoes. Technology exchange flowed in both directions. Britain developed combined acoustic magnetic triggers, first becoming operational in April 1943, sharing this technology with American developers. The United States provided acoustic trigger assistance to Britain during summer 1942. By war's conclusion, both nations possessed sophisticated multi-influence mines requiring simultaneous magnetic, acoustic, and pressure signatures, rendering them virtually impossible to sweep with period technology. The strategic mathematics proved extraordinary. Mining operations consumed merely 5.6% of total bomber command sorties, yet accounted for 40% of sinkings of enemy-controlled vessels in northwest European waters. The resource exchange ratio strongly favored Britain. 468 aircraft lost while laying 47,270. 8 mines resulted in 759 vessels sunk or damaged, totaling 730,000 tons. Over 20,000 German personnel remained permanently assigned to countermeasure operations. 679-plus German minesweepers stayed committed to sweeping operations. Approximately 100 Spurbrecher were converted from merchant shipping with 50% casualties. Admiral Thomas Kinkaid assessed aerial mining as being on the order of 100 times as destructive to the enemy as an equal number of bombing missions against land targets. The asymmetry of time proved devastating for defenders. Clearing a minefield requires 200 times longer than laying it. A single bomber command sortie dropping 6 mines could occupy German minesweepers for weeks of dangerous operations. Mining also provided unexpected intelligence advantages. British cryptanalysts at Bletchley Park utilized knowledge of mine drop locations as cribs for breaking Enigma encrypted traffic. When German naval units reported minefield locations, British intelligence knew the general message content, helping crack the codes protecting enemy communications. Post-war mine clearance operations quantified the lingering danger. Over 600,000 mines required removal from European waters, employing 27,000 former Kriegsmarine personnel in the German mine-sweeping administration. From 1945 through 1948, the weapons Britain deployed continued claiming victims for years. After hostilities ceased, the brilliance of British magnetic mine technology lay in exploiting an unavoidable physical reality. Steel ships cannot conceal their magnetic signatures. Degaussing provided some mitigation but required constant recalibration and could never achieve complete elimination. Sweeping operations helped, but missed mines equipped with ship counters programmed to ignore the first several activations. Spurbrecher couldn't safely clear shallow water after Britain developed blunt fuses that detonated only in extremely strong magnetic fields directly beneath vessels. The psychological impact compounded the physical threat. Cautious captains avoided suspected minefields entirely, accepting longer routes and delayed schedules. The Swedish iron ore supply routes Germany desperately depended upon faced constant threat, contributing to the decision to invade Norway and secure alternative transport paths. The minefield's mere existence forced defenders to sweep constantly, reroute maritime traffic, and accept operational delays. These costs accumulated long after the mine-laying aircraft had safely returned to base. November 1939, Thames estuary mudflats. 2 parachutes descending through darkness. The elegant magnetic sensors inside those metal casings detected what every German captain carried but could never abandon. A steel hull moving through Earth's magnetic field. No radar warning system, no periscope sighting, no opportunity to counterattack. Just the certainty that somewhere beneath the keel, a coiled rod induction trigger waited to detect the subtle disturbance of ferromagnetic metal passing overhead. That simple British technology, refined through decades of careful engineering, became the invisible nightmare that consumed the Kriegsmarine's resources and validated aerial mining as the most efficient means of destroying Enemy shipping throughout World War II, the numbers proved it conclusively. British engineering delivered,